Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're having a good day. Got a little video for you today that I quite honestly did not intend to post, but it ended up being some really good gameplay. I enjoyed this round, and so I thought I'll just share this round with you and throw a little commentary over top of it. I started out using the AK-24 and had a little bit of fun with that, but then quickly realized, I'm feeling a little bit of nostalgia. I'm going to throw it back to the P90. And so this video is actually, it's mostly with the P90 and playing as Dozer, and I think that could be the meta right now. Meta being probably SMGs. So since they made this, it's not a nerf, it's an accuracy tuning adjustment to the ARs. It looks like SMGs are really serious contenders until they get their own tuning later on this season or in the life cycle of Battlefield 2042. But I know that the ACW-R and the G46 are two of the ARs that are really standing out right now, especially the ACW-R. That one, I've not used it a whole lot. It was one of my favorites back in the day, actually, on Battlefield 4. I loved the ACW-R. So I know that's really popular right now too, and people are talking about how that's the meta, and I think that's probably accurate. That's one of the top weapons right now. And the MTAR in the SMG class is incredibly strong as well right now. People are really digging the MTAR. That's a strong weapon as well. And even the MP9, I'm seeing a lot of people utilizing the MP9. It just kind of feels like SMGs are really good right now. And so I think the P90 is actually a contender, and I only picked it up because I just was feeling like I wanted my personal defense weapon again. Back in the day, here you can see I switched to the P90. Back in the day, I used the PDW-R almost exclusively for so much of Battlefield 4. That was my #1 weapon. I could utilize that PDW-4 from almost any range, and honestly, I'd love to see it come into 2042 as a portal weapon and unvault it for all-out warfare. But also the P90 was a classic PDW, classic personal defense weapon in Battlefield 3 and 4, and I just wanted to throw it back to the P90, and I was so pleasantly surprised by how it felt. There is some muzzle climb, like there's not insignificant recoil with the P90, but it's so easy to control. There aren't a massive amount of attachments, and so you don't need a whole lot other than like the laser sight, which really improves the hipfire accuracy, and then that silencer makes it so that you can really just sneak around almost anywhere. This weapon is incredibly silent, and you're not showing up on mini-maps with the silencer, but the hipfire becomes so good when you're using that laser. And I also really like, since they fixed the lasers in Battlefield, I really like how it looks with that green laser coming down the end of your muzzle there when you're aiming down sights. And so I also found a strong squad to play with. This game was incredibly fun because I was really unhappy with the squad I started out with. They just weren't doing anything, and I thought, maybe I'll see if there's another squad I can join. And so there's a squad of 3 players. I joined their squad, and we were tearing it up together. You'll see in this gameplay, so many times we're actually reviving each other. We're going to the same objectives together. And that got me thinking, and part of the reason I wanted to share this gameplay was the design of the map can encourage or discourage people from playing together as a squad. And a lot of the maps discourage squad play. Being so far apart from each other, being with such long distances, it really didn't encourage players to want to stick together. Whereas maps like Reclaimed really have that classic Battlefield 3 and 4 feeling to them, which is when squad play was at its best. The best way to encourage players to play with their squad, in my opinion, is not through even what they had with Battlefield 4, which was the battle upgrades. Like, the more you played as a squad together, you would get upgrades together. Not that implementation, and not even what they put in Battlefield 5 with the call-ins that you would get as playing together as a squad. Those rewards actually are cool and they incentivize some things, but I really think that the best way to encourage squad play is through map design. And this map, like the maps in Battlefield 4 especially, really encourage players to stick with their squads. and to hang out together. And so I'm feeling like I've experienced better squad play on Reclaimed than I have on any other Battlefield 4 map. And here's this guy. Oh, I had to get my Dozer shield out. So I think that the map design encourages squad play. The other, switching gears a little bit, the other thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of the meta is that I think the meta right now is not only the SMG class with the MTAR or the MP9 or the P90, which is what I'm using here. I also think Dozer is such a strong specialist right now. Dozer is ace. His mobility increases with that shield it makes all the difference in the world, and being able to push tight quarters with that riot shield, with that cover, it's so helpful. It is so helpful. It makes such an incredible difference being able to push into tight corridors. In one of my last videos, I was playing Breakthrough on Reclaimed, and we were stuck on C1 objective, which is what happens. Everybody's always stuck on C1 when you're the attackers because it's all interior. It's really tight corridors. And so at one point, I said to the team chat, everybody play Dozer. And then a whole bunch of people switched over to Dozer and started pulling out their shields, and we pushed the objective and won. This shield, it's not only like really tactically advantageous, it's also just so fun. Boop! It's so fun to be able to just pull out that shield and push a few enemies and get some real good memes. It's also an incredible meme generator. So Dozer, and I think that the SMGs are meta right now, and I think that a lot of people are realizing that, and more people are playing as Dozer, and he's just fun. He's just a meme. Something else that's pretty hopeful, pretty exciting, that could be coming to Battlefield 2042. I don't know if you heard this, but the developers talked about how they're trying to find ways to make it so that console players end up in console prioritized lobbies. Not saying that they wouldn't play with PC players, because obviously you could have friends from every platform playing together, but they're trying to find a way, I guess because they've seen an uptick in players, that they could warrant this, that PlayStation and Xbox players will find their way into more console heavy lobbies, which I think is a great thing. As a console player myself, it can get a little frustrating when you're in really heavy PC lobbies, and if you're a console player, you know when you get killed by a PC player. You just know. It's obvious. The movement ability with mouse and keyboard is unparalleled. Aim assist might be strong on console, which it's not overly strong on Battlefield 2042. It's not like other games where the aim assist is like a magnet. This doesn't have that. At least I don't believe it does. But what I think we're experiencing so often is that PC players can just turn on a dime, and they can hold their aim even without aim assist in ways that console players just can't. And so it's not like it's unfair to play against PC. Like, you can still have a whole lot of fun, you can still make it happen, but the balance is just not the same. So having console prioritized lobbies just makes sense. It means that you can still play with your friends on PC, but if you're on console by yourself playing solo or playing with only console friends, then you're going to get put into lobbies that are primarily console, and that balance makes a whole lot of sense to me, because ask any console player. Every time I'm playing with my buddies on console, we'll say, well, just got killed by a PC player. Go into the squad and player menu and find the name that just killed you, and lo and behold, there is a little monitor next to their name, not a controller, obviously on PC. So I think the change is super helpful, and I think that'll make a big difference in the experience for console players. And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about in this video before it wraps up was some of the drama that's been obvious or evident in the Battlefield community. What seems to me to be just really obvious and blatant toxicity. There was a player who was temporarily banned, and then shortly after that ban was lifted, a video surfaced of that player just talking so poorly about the developers. And sure, people might be really good, and they can sweat with the best of them. But I really just don't think that there should be room for toxicity like to that level in any gaming community, regardless of what it was. And it's really unfortunate. And I think that DICE needs to take some steps to mitigate that level of toxicity and kind of bring that hammer down, bring that ban hammer down, because it's unbelievable and it doesn't help the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, grace, and peace.